with your WICR Sports Update. This is Ian Sachs. Last night in the NBA, it was the New York Knicks topping the Brooklyn Nets 110 to 81. It was J.R. Smith who was the high man for the Knicks with 24. Also around the league, we had the Indiana Pacers defeating the Detroit Pistons 101 to 94. Cleveland topped Orlando 119 to 98. Charlotte defeated Philadelphia 123 to 93. It was Toronto over Houston 107 to 103. Washington defeated Boston 118 to 92. Chicago 105 and Atlanta 92. Miami defeated Milwaukee 96 to 77. Minnesota topped Memphis 102 to 88. It was the San Antonio Spurs with their 19th straight win, defeating the Golden State Warriors 111 to 90. Denver had had a great offensive performance, scoring 137 points and defeating the New Orleans Pelicans 137 to 107. The LA Clippers defeated the Phoenix Suns 112 to 108, and the Sacramento Kings defeated the LA Lakers 107 to 102. Also in the NHL, it was the New York Islanders defeating the Ottawa Senators 2-1. The Detroit Red Wings topped the Boston Bruins 3-2. Anaheim topped Edmonton by the same score, 3-2, and it was the LA Kings blanking the Phoenix Coyotes 4-0. With your WICR Sports Update, I'm Ian Sachs. And we are back, everyone, for segment number 2 of the day. We have the MLB. Baseball started on Sunday night, and, it's getting me ready for the warm weather. Oh, I want to get rid of the winter coats and put on a baseball hat and, be able to walk outside in a T-shirt. And seeing all the baseball action now is getting me set for that. But we've got our baseball preview segment right here coming up. We're going to take a look at each division, and then we will pick our World Series predictions. So, all right, we'll start it off with the AL, the American League. We'll go east to west. So we'll start it off with the AL East. We've got the defending World Series champions, the Boston Red Sox. This division is always competitive.
Yeah, it's always wide open because every team in this division is capable of being in the 80s or 90s every year. But I'm going to go right ahead and say it. I think the New York Yankees are going to win this division. For the first time since I want to say 2000, I could say that the Yankees have both a good pitching staff and a good batting lineup. The signing of Tanaka was big. Pineda has he's been able to stay away from injuries and had an effective spring training. And having them in the bottom of the rotation at the 4 and the 5 is lethal, and they're going to take advantage of all these other teams that have struggling 4 and 5 starters in that 4 to 5 hole. So I'm going to go with the Yankees. They're going to probably finish, I want to say, about 95 wins in that range. And, yeah, the Tampa Bay is going to keep it interesting with them. Tampa Bay has a great pitching staff, probably one of the best in the American League, if not both in the whole Major League Baseball Association. But I'm gonna go with the Yankees. Beltran was a great undervalued pickup. Everyone got the hype with Jacoby Ellsbury and Brian McCann. The only question about Ellsbury is if he can remain healthy. Will this team be able to surge? Because having Ellsbury at the top of the order in front of Jeter and Beltran and McCann is big, because he's that base threat who can steal bases at will, and he needs to stay healthy. Brian McCann was a great pickup. He's going to be a solid catcher for the next 5 years. I love the decision by the Yankees, and yeah, they just made great pickups this year, and I see them winning this division. Although they're 0-2, but they'll pick it up. It's a long season.
Well, with me now, I have the Tampa Bay Rays, actually. They to me have been the most consistent team in the AL East. They've won 90 plus games in 5 of their last 6 seasons. Last year finishing 92 and 71. So I mean, when you look at them too, you have to take into account. I mean, David Price and Matt Moore. They're two of the best starting pitchers in this league. On top of the fact, with the stellar bullpen that this team has. So I would go with Tampa Bay Rays. They know how to win within their division, and their standings in their previous seasons clearly indicate that.
I actually have a different team winning the division here. I've got the Boston Red Sox repeating as division champions. I think that Big Papi found his youth again last year, and I think he's going to put together another season close to the one that he had last year. Koji Iwahara out of the Boston bullpen shortens the games, and Red Sox are able to have a lead when they give the ball to him. You're as good as done. So I think that the Red Sox are going to take their momentum from the playoffs last year and just run with it to another division title. I would take the Tampa Bay Rays to win one of the wild card spots. I think the job Joe Madden has done with that team is phenomenal. The stat Sean said with 5 straight 90-win seasons. That's remarkable.
And the AL East, the best division in all of Major League Baseball.
The AL East last year was the only division with 4 teams that finished over 500. 4 out of 5 teams finished over 500.
Toronto was close to finishing 500 too. They were right there almost.
Close to it, yeah. They finished 74 and 88. The problem with the Yankees, I would love to see them make the playoffs in Jeter's last year. The problem with them is that health and age. They're not that young, and a player gets injured. Like, look at Jeter. He just had an injury last year, and then came exactly, and then he came back from the injury and got injured again. So I think that the Yankees just need too many things to go right for them to make the playoffs.
A point that was controversial when I was picking the Yankees to win the division. I still think they are, but having CC being your ace and Kuroda being your second ace, that could be hard for the Yankees to pull out some games when they're playing Tampa Bay's David Price and Matt Moore, because those 2 aces are better than the Yankees' 2 aces. And when they play the Tigers' first 2 aces and Scherzer and Verlander, like, the Yankees' top 2 aces are not that good. However, they make up for it with their 3, 4, and 5 solid pitchers in Nova, Tanaka, and Pineda. That I think is the heart of the rotation, the 3, 4, and 5. The Yankees are going to steal a lot of wins from the 3, 4, and 5 pitchers, because their 3, and 4, and 5 are going to outdo most other teams, because we're pretty deft there for the lack of first and 2,
Yes, but in a 3-game series, you drop the first 2, then you have to win 3 in a row.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be tough.
I'm surprised none of us said Baltimore. I like Baltimore. They can hit.
Oh, Chris Crush Davis.
Yeah. Nelson Cruz is a good pickup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the as we said earlier, the AL East is just stacked. Really, you can make a case that any of the 5 teams there are going to win the division.
Except Toronto. I don't think Toronto could pull it off. Their pitching is not very good. Jose Rice always injured.
You could say that they have a
chance to maybe get 500.
Yeah. Yeah, the Blue Jays are definitely a competitive.
Oh yeah.
5.
They know how to win in Division 2. They know how they could beat the Yankees and the Red Sox. They both play them particularly well.
So now moving on to the AL Central. The top 2 teams here last year, Detroit and Cleveland, Both finished with 90 wins, and Kansas City came on. I was not expecting that. I knew that they were gonna start to really pick it up. I didn't expect it that soon, but I gotta go with Detroit repeating as division champions. Miguel Cabrera, phenomenal player. He's one of the toughest outs. He can hit for average. He can hit for power. Drive runs in. And then Detroit's pitching rotation.
Oh, superb.
With Sanchez, Scherzer, Verlander.
Annabelle Sanchez. Oh, you said him right, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pitching wins games, and even look at the postseason. A lot of times the big bats go quiet in October, and it's because the great pitching is elevated there. So I think Detroit's got that.
Oh yeah, Detroit definitely has this. This division is probably the least competitive division in all of baseball. Detroit is going to win this by a landslide, by more than 10 games. I don't see Cleveland being as competitive as they were last year. Kansas City's a young, emerging team. I think they're going to outdo Cleveland, but Detroit's going to have probably around like 97, 98 wins this year. I'm feeling that they're going to be on the surge. Miguel Cabrera was just introduced to a big contract. He's going to prove to everyone that he's worth that contract, that he can last and be durable over the next, 10-year contract?
I think something like that.
It was something in that range, exactly, and he can do it. But yeah, like as Ian said, this rotation is so impressive. No one can defeat this rotation in the AL Central. The AL Central is not known for hitting. They're gonna struggle with the AL East. They play them around like 9 times a year. So but Detroit's gonna win this. Losing Prince Fielder was a big loss. However, they gained Ian Kinsler, and Ian Kinsler is it's a different look for the Tigers. Putting him at the top of the order, they're expecting him to be that guy to set up Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez. So I think Kinsler is gonna do it. Kinsler has a bad reputation with Texas, and Kinsler was a great pickup, and I think Detroit's gonna win it.
Yeah, I have to go with you guys too. I mean, they think about the 1-2 punch that they have. Regardless, they're dangerous. Most talent in the AL Central, so they're definitely gonna capture their 4th consecutive. I mean, you look at it, they're gonna make some noise with this deep roster that they have, especially with the multiple Cy Young candidates. Along with Mel Cabrera. So, yeah, Detroit Tigers. I think we all agree on that unanimously, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now we've got the AL West, which is another division that you could see multiple teams coming at it.
Oh, that most definitely.
You've got the Oakland A's, the Texas Rangers, and the LA Angels, really, who are competing. Seattle's could hold their own with Robinson Cano. I don't think
they don't have enough hitting though. Although they did sweep the Angels.
I don't think that a division crown is in the sights for them this year, but they could definitely hold their own. And then of course you've got Houston way out in the bottom. I'm gonna take the Texas Rangers here. Pick up a Prince Fielder. They're finally starting to rebuild the middle of the lineup after losing Josh Hamilton. I see the Rangers just really coming into their own and excelling in this division.
My question with the Texas Rangers is outside Yu Darvish, this pitching staff is not that dominant. While Oakland, I love Oakland. They were a miracle team last year. They had a great run. They have a young and exciting rotation. And their hitting is great too. They get on base, they steal, they hit for contact. They have power too. And Yoenis Cespedes is one of my favorite players in this league. He's going to be an elite player. He's just got to mature, and he's got to work on his plate discipline. He swings at some pitches out of the zone, but that guy can drop bombs. And I like Oakland coming out.
Oh, me, I have the Texas Rangers. I mean, the one thing that you question about them is will their pitching hold up? But apart from that, I mean, they have arguably one of the best hitting ball clubs in MLB. So I have the Texas Rangers just off of that.
Good choice, Sean. Good choice. Now switching over to the NL, we're gonna do a similar pattern, starting in the AL East.
I know.
I've got Atlanta taking this. They won the division by 10 games last year. I don't see anybody really stepping up. Washington could compete. Other than that, the Mets, the Phillies, the Marlins, I don't see it.
Yeah, this is the least competitive division out in the National League. ESPN and most predictions are saying the Nationals are going to take it. However, I'm going to go with Ian. I'm going to go with the reigning NL East champs and the Atlanta Braves. This team is an explosive hitting team. They have great talent in Jason Hayward, Freddie Freeman. The loss of Brian McCann was big, but they have a suitable backup in Evan Gattis. Not a bad backup. So I think he can be a permanent catcher for them for the remaining of the season. And Justin Upton was a great pickup. When they took him from the Diamondbacks, that was a smart pickup because he can protect the middle of the order and he can hit that ball out. But their pitching staff is great too. Theron is a great ace for them. And this team knows how to close out games. Their bullpen is stellar. Johnny Venters and Greg Kimball will close out the games and they'll win games.
With me, like, I honestly don't even know who to pick between these two. It's definitely coming down to these two. There's no question about it. I mean, you have both catalysts for the individual teams with Bryce Harper and Freddie Freeman. So, honestly, guys, I'm kind of at odds with who to pick. So, I'm going to play the field here and just be the neutral one.
Both of them making the playoffs.
Yeah, one getting the wild card.
One getting the wild card?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Now we've got the NL Central, which is last year had three great teams. The St. Louis Cardinals, the Pittsburgh Pirates, my Pirates, let's go, and the Cincinnati Reds. All three of them had 90 wins. And the only division that had three teams with 90 wins, I'm seeing the Cardinals repeating as champions here. They went to the World Series last year, and I just see them. They're too good. Their pitching rotation is phenomenal. I would make the case that that's the best pitching rotation in baseball right now.
Well said, Ian. Yeah, definitely. They have veteran leadership in Adam Wainwright and Yami Garcia, and they have stellar production upcoming and Michael Wacha and Joe Kelly. This team is the Redbirds of St. Louis are definitely going to win this division again. Losing Carlos Beltran was a big loss, but gaining Johnny Peralta at the shortstop position was also another big factor. So I'm going to have to go with the Redbirds.
And me, I'm definitely going to have to go with the Cardinals. I mean, just off of their pitching staff. I mean, the one thing, though, you question with them is if they can score enough runs. One thing, though, is that they need to hit, and also can they outshine the Pirates and the Reds? If they can do that, the NL Central is theirs.
The Pirates and the Reds have a definitely a better hitting lineup, but their pitching rotation is not as stellar.
I see all three of these teams making it to the postseason as they did last year. And now our final division, we've got the NL West. Fellas, I'll open the floor up to you first. Dodgers repeating as champions.
Dodgers are going to the World Series to play the Detroit Tigers. Enough said.
Yeah, Dodgers are definitely going back. I mean, they have a rich payroll, great pitching staff, and just a good hitting ball club in general. Like, it should come down between them and the Giants in the NL West. However, ultimately, Dodgers are repeating.
I see a resurgence of the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, you can't factor them out.
And as much as I would like to see the Dodgers repeat as champions, I'm going with the Giants. I think that
Bad choice.
I think that they're gonna have a rebound of a year. Buster Posey and Madison Bumgarner Posey in
They work good together.
in the lineup is gonna absolutely, he's gonna make this team go. Hunter Pence is such a scrappy player, and Matt Cain and Madison Bumgarner anchoring that starting rotation. Sergio Romo in the bullpen. I think the Giants rebound from their 76 and 86 season last year, and they take this division, fellas. Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you heard it here first. So now now that we've looked at each division, World Series predictions. Who is going to beat who in the Fall Classic?
I'm going to go with the Detroit Tigers to win the World Series. They're going to beat the Dodgers in 6 games. Why? Simply because Detroit, in recent history in the last couple of years, they know how to win in the postseason. They dominate the Yankees in the postseason. So if the Yankees go, they're going to beat the Yankees. And the Dodgers last year, they just fell apart to St. Louis. They should have beat them, but I'm going to go with Detroit to beat the Dodgers. It's going to be a good series, but Detroit.
Great minds think alike. I have the Dodgers triumphing. However, Dodgers. I have nothing else to say. I don't know.
Over who? Who do you have in the AL?
Who do I have in the AL?
Yeah.
I have the Tigers. Whatever.
Okay. So you two agree. Well, it's going to be the St. Louis Cardinals. They're going back to the World Series. But this time they're going to win it over the Texas Rangers. I just like the Rangers. Prince Fielder, big pickup there. Yu Darvish.